It's Nicole Moore here with another Flirty Friday video. If you're new to my channel, you can subscribe below because every Friday I put out an amazing video with love and relationship tips to create an epic love life. Today I'm here with a special guest, my man Mike, and we're going to answer a question that I get a lot from women, which is how do I get a guy to pay for the first date? So if you're anything like the women in my community, most of them, if they go on a first date and a guy either asks them to go Dutch or doesn't pay for the dinner, their response is ugh. So we're going to tell you how to get a man to pay. And what we really mean by that is how do you activate in a man his decision to court you and prioritize you and pursue you. So I figured we could hear from a man today about what makes a man want to actually pay for dinner.
Well, I think it has a lot to do with what you're bringing into the date. This isn't about you bringing money. It's what are those things that are intangible about you as a woman that would make a man want to pay for you. It's really all about your energy. Yeah.
So what did I do on our first date that made you want to pay? Well, first of all, I should ask you.
Best date of my life. It was.
Does a man, this is the first question I want to ask because I think women want to know, is there, before a man goes on a date, has he already decided, like, I'm going to pay for dinner or not, or is there something a woman can do on the date to kind of shift the needle?
Well, if I think of me, I would always make up my mind whether I was going to pay or not. But there are some times when you feel like it's not exactly appropriate. It really just depends on the situation, feeling it out. And I think that there are some signals that I would look for from a date just to know that it's a date, not like, oh, is this just kind of a friendly thing? Are we just meeting for coffee, or is this a date? You know, sometimes there's a little bit of a difference.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I remember our first date, you know, you came in and you were wearing like this dynamite dress. It wasn't just you threw on a pair of jeans. It was like an amazing dress, and you turned heads when everybody walked in. And when you came over to meet me, you didn't shake my hand. You gave me a hug, and you gave me a really nice hug. And you smiled at me a lot, and you gave me a lot of good eye contact, and you were seductive. You weren't trashy. There was nothing in there that really, you were just confident. It was, you know, it really made me feel like this is a date, and you were giving me so much. And it was easy. Of course I was going to pay.
Yeah. So what I want you to hear in this, ladies, is it's what you bring to the date, right? So what he said was, you know, you wore a really great outfit. I did take the time to, because from my perspective, right, if a guy is going to pay for a date, right, he's bringing something. What you bring to the table matters. So how I think of a date is I'm going to do my best to show up in the best energy. So I feel good about myself, but I'm bringing something to the table. I'm bringing something visually pleasing, and it doesn't have to be, you know, whatever looks good to you, you want to do that. And then he said, I was smiling, right? I gave you a hug. So many women, I think, especially if it's a first date, right? You're afraid to open up. You don't want to give too much. But the more you can just put him at ease by being open, the more he's going to feel like he naturally wants to give to you. And then what he mentioned is confidence, which I've interviewed so many men, and time again I ask them, like, what are you looking for in a woman? And the number one thing they say is confidence. Mike, why is confidence so important? Like, why do men want that from women?
I think it's, you know, because they want somebody who's going to show them how brave someone can be, and ultimately, when a man's looking for a mate, they want somebody that's going to be able to lift them up and really have some guts in the end. Men go out and maybe try and conquer things in business, but when they come home, they want to have that kind of support and really get that nurturing. And I think that just communicates it to them when they see that kind of confidence.
I love it. I love it. So what would make a man decide he's not going to pay? Like, if he isn't paying on the date, like, what is going on in his head?
Well, if you're just closed off, I mean, if you're sitting there with your arms crossed, or you're doing something in your energy to insinuate that you are closed off, if you're coming into it thinking that, what am I, you know, I expect him to pay, or you're just not opening up, not being flirtatious, you know, just, you know, being rude, insulting me. Those are
No.
things
No.
that would make me not want to pay. Yeah.
So quick story, ladies, as we wrap this video up, there was a time in my life when my bank account went to literally negative, and I didn't stop dating. I kept dating, and I remember this one date that I had where I went, and I think I was using my PayPal as money for an Uber because I didn't have any money in my bank account. And you could say that was a risk. And how did I know he was going to pay for the dinner, you know? And I just kind of went, well, I'm just going to go and, you know, I hope he pays. But I was confident in myself that I know how to show up on a first date that's going to make a man activate that in himself. So he did pay for dinner, and I was able to go on the date. So bottom line, to recap, ladies, really wear something amazing. This isn't about being superficial. It's going to make you feel amazing. I felt really great when I walked into the restaurant, Mike, to go see you. Like, I felt hot. I felt attractive.
Yeah,
and
it showed.
Yeah.
It showed.
So wear something that's going to make you feel good. And also just, for me, women they bring beauty, they bring color to a man's life. So wear something beautiful. Be warm and open when you meet him. More warm than maybe is comfortable for you. Meaning, give him a big hug, big smile. Don't just go like, hi, it's nice to meet you. Like, you want to bring a ton of energy and be confident. If you do these things, you will more likely than not activate the desire in the man to want to pay. So, you know, Course in Miracles says to give. And I really believe that if you want to get something from a man, it's about what you are bringing to the table first. So Mike, thanks so much for being on this video. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you have a very flirty Friday.